Hello viewers and welcome back to Sahara TV. On this particular segment, we're talking with Mr. Ibanga Isine, editor with the Premium Times, who is covering the Nigerian National Conference. Thank you, Mr. Isine, for being with us here on Sahara TV.
Very much.
So I'd like to start out, sir. It's been just the first week since the start of the National Conference, and I'd like to hear from you on what has the atmosphere been like at the conference?
Well, on the inauguration day, it was all fun. The delegates enjoyed themselves, meeting friends they have not met for quite a while, and they hugged and slapped and laughed. But on the first day of plenary, which was on Tuesday, some issues came up.
Go ahead, sir.
And then there was a mild drama on the floor. One of the things that happened was that some delegates wanted to know why the federal government did not pay their and has not paid or secured and paid for the accommodation. So that was one funny aspect of it, because right before the beginning of the conference, everything was monetized, and all what is going to be paid to the delegates will be given to them in a bulk sum monthly. So the secretary of the committee had taken time, the secretary of the conference had taken time to explain to delegates that they should submit the account details, and whatever is due to them will be paid. Interestingly, no member of the conference as at today has received an appointment letter. So it is the appointment letter that will specify what will be paid to members. One other serious issue that came up was the fact that the chairman of the conference would always start with an Islamic recitation. So one of the delegates, Pastor Tunde Bakare, had raised a point that the conference should adopt a single prayer, and that it would not be fair for Christians to rise up and say, "Praise the Lord," somebody, while their Muslim brothers will also recite some Quranic verses before the beginning of the conference. But it was agreed that a prayer would be adopted. And I have seen the rules of procedure. They have adopted a prayer, and the same prayer is being used at the National Assembly.
Okay. Have you had a chance to, now that the first week has passed or during the week, speak with any of the delegates so far? Have you heard their reactions on how the first week has been going?
Yes, I spoke with Barrister Rumi Mom. Rumi Mom is the president of Lawyers Alert. He's from the civil society community. And he said he was not disappointed. It was the first week, and since the rules of procedure was not available as at that time, the conference could not do much. But from Monday, when they resume plenary, and the rules of procedure will be adopted, work would progress. But the concern of some of the members I've spoken with is that the time frame is too limited to do all what they're expected to do in 3 months. That's 12 weeks, and at least 1 week is already gone. Will be a very difficult task.
In addition to the delegates, have you been speaking with any people on the ground, like at the grassroots level, now that the conference has started, to get their reactions on some of the issues coming out of the conference? I mean, particularly one of the big things that came out was, it was noted that after a week of maybe, like you mentioned, procedural things going on, the delegates were paid like 1.45 million naira, and there were some questions even concerning the overall payments that the delegates are going to receive per month. What have you been hearing from the people on the ground?
People are outraged on hearing that about 4 million naira will be paid to each of the delegates per month, and that would be too much. Some people even argue that the president of the country does not earn up to 4 million per month, and that would be outrageous. So That is one of the major concerns of a lot of Nigerians. They want the payment to be reviewed, and some people even argue that since there are people who, and they have rightly claimed to be part of the problem of the country, they should also find solutions to the problems that they think they created without taxing the country so much. But personally, I feel they should be paid, but it should not be that outrageous. Now, people are also saying that this is going to be business as usual. After this conference, what happens? People even think that there will be fight. People will fight, and the ethnic dichotomies, the religious divide, and the interest, economic interest, will be some of the things that will tear the conference apart. And people are still very, very suspicious of this, and but the members have said, like one of the traditional rulers from the north, who said religion should not be a yardstick for measuring what will happen at the conference. People should bury their hatreds and come together and solve the problem that they themselves were responsible for. So there's a mixed feeling. The feeling is a mixed bag of people in support and people who do not support, and even people who are sitting on the fence, right on the fence.
As far as coverage and your own access to the conference, has there been any difficulties, or is there a fair amount of press access?
For journalists, when once you have your accreditation and your tag, there's a simple way of identifying who is who in the venue at the venue. The delegates have a green tag, the press has a yellow tag, security red tag, the black tag is for support staff. So if you see somebody, unless it's a guest and is allowed into the premises, apart from that, there's no difficulty in accessing the place. And then, as at yesterday when I visited, the press gallery was ready, and then the media center was ready. Those were things that we didn't really. The media center was not ready the first week of resumption, but as at yesterday, they were working hard to set that place up for the press, and I think nobody has been harassed yet, but it doesn't mean it may not happen.
Right. Now, just one final thing. I understand that there is a story going on that's making some big news that you would like to discuss here. So please go ahead and share that with us.
One of the issues that I have personally as a journalist, as a reporter, is one of the rules that will be adopted on Monday. I don't think that will augur well for the conference, because it's going to shut out journalists. The rule says that, I think it's Rule 9, Order 9, Rule 7, if I'm not mistaken, either Order 8, Rule 7. It says that the conference may accredit or approve media organizations to cover the plenary sessions or to cover the conference as it were, but provided that the media organization, but if the media organization publishing is considered unfair or not does not reflect what happened on the floor of the conference, the particular media organization or the reporter will get the permit granted him or her revoked. To me, that is a violation of the provisions of the Constitution, which guarantees freedom of expression and also empowers the press, that is the newspaper, the broadcast stations, and now the social media, to hold government accountable to the people. If the conference finds that a reporter has written something that is out of point or maliciously or libelous, there are legal ways of handling such issues. Nobody should be thrown out, or no media organization should be thrown out. This is democracy, and in democracy, there's popular participation. Everybody should be allowed. But it is also a wake-up call to the media, the reporters, the journalists, not to go on the other side of the law. I know that they are trying to to check the excesses of the media, people reporting what is not, what has not been said, what has not been done, or sensationalization. But that is going too far. You want to kick out a media organization for reporting what is wrong. There are ways of handling such issues without kicking the media organization out. That is an infringement of the existing laws. And then again, you look at it, the conference cannot be a complainant and the judge. If the conference is complaining about a particular media organization, there should be a way of seeking redress or not throw the person outside. Apart from that, I believe the people gathered, they are great Nigerians. There are so many Nigerians that who are passionate about the country and would want the country to change for good. I also know that there are some controversial persons too in the conference. It's a mixed bag. You cannot control it. You cannot keep these other people away.
Right.
We have some young and very dynamic people, and we also have people who could cause problem.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Ibanga Isine, for being with us here on Sahara TV. Unfortunately, we are out of time, but we will be following up with you as the conference goes on to see any updates and reports that you and Premium Times may have. So thank you so much again for being with us here on Sahara TV.
Thank you very much.
Viewers, that was Mr. Ibanga Isine, an editor with Premium Times, talking about his coverage of the first week of the National Conference. Please stay tuned. We have a lot more coming up later. Coming up next, actually, we're doing an interview with the director of Radio Biafra from London. And so stay tuned for that and a lot more coming up. Thank you.